Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus just passed 10,000 miles. That was crazy fast.
Yeah, it was fast.
So, I'm bringing my wife Sarah into the video here because we've probably driven this close to equally. Pretty close,
Probably.
maybe 60-40.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd get her perspective as well as some of my thoughts on expectations. Have they been met? Stuff we wish was different, stuff we like. So I guess the first question, Sarah, is I wanted the car a lot more than you.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I had, I think, a lot more expectations than you did. So 10,000 miles in, like, what's impressed you the most, I think, is the best question to ask.
I think I just never saw the need to have a nice car. Like, I just thought it was just like if it got you from A to B, I was cool. But now that I've had one and had all the perks, it's really nice.
What perks, like perks? What do you mean?
Things about it that I really like.
There's things that this car has that other cars have. That's not exclusive
True,
to here.
and some of those things are probably things I love. But
Like?
I love being able to turn on the heat and the air conditioning before I get in it. So it's hot in the winter, cool in the summer. I love the hold function on the brake. I don't know, that's probably a common thing too, but I love like being in a drive-through line and not having to like hold your foot on the brake.
Yeah, that's great. And I don't think that's exclusive to here, but
Probably not.
But
I love the frunk.
yeah, the front
I love
is
the
nice.
frunk way more than I thought I would, and I use it way more.
I talked about this on my last video, but I think something that I have loved a lot, and it goes along with the hold function, is the software updates. Like, I knew that was something that always drew me to Tesla, because I felt like I can buy this car and for at least 5 years, maybe 10, feel like I still have a new car, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, the hold feature, that was always there, but when we first got the car, you had to tap the brake to go into hold. And now you, over software updates, you can just enable that feature and say, anytime I come to zero, go to hold, which has been great. So, like, for me, I think something that I thought that I would love, and it's been as good, if not better than I expected, was those software updates, because there's a lot of stuff that we've gotten in the last, I don't know, however many months it's been now.
Less than a year.
Less than a year. I mean, how many things do we use now that we didn't have initially? You know,
Yeah.
like, there's lots of stuff, and there's even more coming out, and we don't have the enhanced autopilot. We don't have, obviously, the premium audio, and, you know, it's not the base level, but it's close to base, being a Standard Range Plus, and it's like, we're still getting a lot of sweet features that, for me, I think that's the biggest takeaway, is the software updates, keeping your car fresh and new, have been great. What else do you love?
I actually love the screen and how it's all in one place and there's not a billion buttons everywhere.
Was that an adjustment for you? Because it's obviously different than most cars.
I would say it probably was an adjustment, but it's not a slow adjustment. I think you pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah. I definitely don't feel like it's a distraction. I don't feel like it's enacting with it causes me to be a dangerous driver.
Totally. And another thing I love is that the speed limit is on your screen. So I'm kind of a rule follower, probably more so than Matt. And so if I'm in an area where, you know, there's no sign and I'm wondering what the speed limit is, I love being able to look down and just being like, oh, it's actually 35. I thought it was 25. Like, I can speed up, or
right,
vice versa.
Except you never use cruise control or autopilot.
I use it on the freeway.
Do you really?
I use cruise
autopilot?
control. Not autopilot. I'm still a little scared of autopilot.
What scares you the most about autopilot? Because I use autopilot, and I don't know if cruise control is the right name for it, but I'm gonna call it cruise control.
Sure.
I use that at least 75% of the time when I'm driving. I almost always use it. Why don't you use it?
I just, and maybe it's like personality thing, but a lack of control freaks me out. And so it just feels like I don't have control of it. And I think even with like the cruise control part, you know that it's not just you put it in one speed and it stays there. It pays attention to the cars in front of it and would slow down. It took me a little bit to even feel comfortable with that, but I think now I am. So maybe one day I'll get there.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Probably not, but that's okay. For me, it is a little trippy the first couple times, but I've had enough good experiences with it where I feel like I can trust it. So
yeah.
I mean, there's times that, depending on the road, I think, at least for you and I, we drive to a lot of the same places, so we know which roads are a little sketchy and which roads it's easy to use. And like main roads with a lot of traffic, I think it's great because you don't have the stress of stop and go. And so I really like it. What are some things that you've been disappointed with? Because I do feel like I have a few more disappointments than maybe you do.
Probably, but the first one that comes to mind are the windshield wipers.
Yes.
The automatic portion of them where it's like supposed to go on, it doesn't work well. And then like getting it on and off seems like a struggle every time for some reason. Like getting it to the right sync, which it feels easier to me in a more manual car.
Yeah. And the funny thing is we did get a software update for that, but it's still, it's really, it does a great job when it's a good amount of rain. It's just when there's a little bit of moisture.
Where you still want it to clear off every so often, it just doesn't do it.
Is that it? Just the windshield wipers?
That was the first thing that came to my mind. What's yours?
Mine, honestly, this is going to sound very petty, but because you and I switch often, almost, I'd say 90% of the time, when I get in the car, it goes to your settings. Because
I had just driven the car.
Yeah, and I'm like, when you and I both get in the car, okay, I understand. Both of our phones connect. It doesn't know which one is right. But
I see.
Like on a day where you go to work and then you park it and then the next day I get it and you're not there, I wish it would intelligently know the only phone connecting is Matt's phone, so go to Matt's settings.
Yeah.
And so I've been a little disappointed at its ability to switch between profiles, and I have looked high and low to try and figure that out, and I just wish it was more intelligent. Like, it should be easy. If I'm the only phone connecting to the car via Bluetooth, go to my settings, you know? So that's a frustration of mine, because other driver profiles have been great. There's a lot of cool stuff that I like.
Yeah.
But I just, and it's a third world problem, because all I got to do is tap one button and it goes to my settings. But I wish it was automatic. So that's been one of my biggest frustrations, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's fixed. I feel like that's a relatively easy fix with the software update.
Probably, yeah.
Any other big complaints?
I'm trying to think. So I do like the and now I can't think of what it's called. Like when you're about to hit something, you know, it beeps at you.
Yeah.
I like that, but I do feel like sometimes it's overly sensitive and it like freaks me out.
Yeah.
Because then I'm nervous that I'm gonna hit something, and it's like, because there's like the you're getting kind of close beep, and then there's like you're the really close beep, and it's actually sometimes you're really not actually that close, but then it messes me up.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess we'll end on this, our 10,000 miles, just reminiscing the 10,000 miles. I mean, it's been a great car. Do you have any regrets? Are you happy that we own a Tesla?
Yeah, I do. I like it way more than I thought. I thought I would be kind of indifferent to it, and I'm really excited when it's my turn to drive it.
Yeah, it's been great. Very few things in life are perfect. I'm a huge technology geek, and most of the technology that I have is great, and I'm happy with it, but I'm not perfectly happy. So that definitely applies to this car. It's not a perfect car, but I think for cars in this price range, if you like technology, if you like, I wouldn't say the reason I drive a Tesla is to help the environment. That's not my primary thing, but if that is. I think you'd be happy. If you like having a fast car, you'd be happy. I think...
If you want to go on road trips, do not get this car.
Yeah. Well, it's... Yeah, the Standard Range Plus is... It's not... The range isn't good enough for that.
No.
And... But I wonder if you'd feel differently if it was long range. If you had 300 miles.
Baby.
But for everyday commuting, if your commute is less than 100 miles a day, this is great.
Totally.
So, all right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. So happy to answer any questions about this long forgotten Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Take care. See ya.